again, Wumblebum. I'm back with another story, and this one is another short story of mine called Dear Watson. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy the illustration that comes with it. Thank you. Physically speaking, she was gorgeous. She reminded me of Emma Watson. That's why I was so drawn to her when I first saw her. That's the first thought that came to my head when she looked into my eyes on our wedding day a whole year ago. And that's why I had to have her. Good morning. She smiled at me, and I waited for the words that were meant to follow. I waited for nothing, until I noticed an eye shoot towards me. I had to respond. Yes, good morning. She asked if I wanted eggs, and I nodded in cold, mournful silence. I clung to the hope that she was messing around, but my grip wasn't that strong. She cracked the egg against the edge of the frying pan, crushing my skull along with it, and pounding out the yolk within. I was holding myself together with string, not letting a single drop of myself pour out. I booked a day off a while ago. Perhaps if I had been a dog, my ears and tail would have flickered upwards. If only I could remember why. My eyes were dragged downward again. I felt as if I were sinking into the linoleum, as if it was swallowing me, like a huge, toothless mouth of tiled pattern. Huh, that's funny. The vicious scraping of the spatula peeling the egg's white flesh from the searing hot surface of the pan filed my ears with every quick movement of her slender arm. I felt the urge to wince in pain at the sound of it, but I held on to my fragile shell. If I don't remember, then it will be a day wasted, I reckon. I watched her carefully, desperate for a single flicker of emotion to brighten her dim 6 a.m. face. I wanted to see that adorable red carpet smile. Damn, I've got nothing. I bit back a scream, digging my teeth into the soft flesh inside my cheek. I sank further into that dark, slippery mouth as she tipped the flattened white mass onto a plate, its bold yellow head wobbling in confusion and awkward disappointment. That's not how I liked my eggs. I made the decision to disown it, and to never look upon its gleaming, empty face. Its ugly loneliness reflected mine. That's odd. Any idea what it might be, honey? I hammered my eyes into the back of her head. No. Oh well, maybe I should just take this day. My scream rattled around inside my skull, shaking throughout my body. The floor was closing around my feet, pulling me into its gaping maw. I could have sworn I felt the soles of my feet dampen with the saliva of this monster beneath me. Sweat, right? She was speaking, but I couldn't hear her over the sound of my pulse, and suddenly this wasn't a special day anymore. It was a day of despair, and the wrong eggs. Yes, you deserve this day for yourself. Emma Watson would have remembered how I liked my eggs. Emma Watson would not forget my birthday. I turned around, stepping out of the mouth's grip and making my way down the narrow hallway, bare feet brushing against the hard carpet. I could feel that mouth following close behind me, brushing hot breaths down my neck. I couldn't let it intimidate me. I couldn't let a single crease of anger creep onto my face. Not yet. What about your eggs, honey? I felt as if my ribs might cave in, as every word she spoke felt like a punch to the chest. Her voice was wrong. It didn't sound like Emma's at all. Every time she spoke I couldn't avoid it. Maybe if she spoke less, it wouldn't have to be a problem. There she was, out in the back garden wearing that dress I hate. She insists that it's beautiful, but it really isn't. Her soft hand tips gracefully as she tilts her watering can, tending lovingly to the garden as she always liked to. I saw it in her again, a glimpse of Emma. I felt a smile warm my face as I watched her through the kitchen window. If only she was always like this. If only this was who she really was. I felt something cold creep over me and crawl into my brain. I couldn't forget the plan. I had spent the whole morning planning this, and if I had backed out before phase 1, I wouldn't get anywhere. In one fluid movement I swiveled on my heel, tugging the rucksack from the ground and throwing it over one shoulder. Fumbling in silence for a moment with the second strap, I threw my head in her direction. She hadn't looked at me once. Of course she hadn't. She didn't know a single thing about me, and maybe nobody did. I took off down the hallway. I wasn't closer to Emma by sticking around. It was time.
Subscribe to Ombil Bomb on YouTube.